All of us need to eat. We have to go to grocery stores and the food has to be on the shelves. And I'm seeing images today in the New York Times and some other American media of grocery stores with nothing on the shelves. It's not just an economic argument.
There you go. Yes. That is economist Ian Lee pointing out the obvious. We need stuff. And there are costs of the decisions being made by those who insist, safety first. But today was just a gong show. And it's created a lot of needless confusion on a reckless vaccine mandate that will sideline thousands of our truck drivers. And so what happened last night, like kind of after my show, I'm reading the news as I do, and the Trudeau government announces this reversal, that it's going to give Canadian truck drivers an exemption for vaccine mandates that come into play on January 15th. That's this Saturday. And they let this play in the media for about 20 hours. It was on all day. Every radio, every TV across this country. And then around 5:30, we get this announcement that, oopsie, Trudeau government made a mistake. No changes are being made. No, everything's set to go. Come January 15th, truck drivers are crossing our borders will have to be fully vaxxed or they get sidelined. And this is going to affect thousands of trucks coming across our borders at a time when we've already got driver shortages on both sides of the border, and we've got supply chains that are brittle thin at best. And so the warning these drivers have been saying is our shelves could be bare if we are parked. But, clearly those in charge are willing to take that risk because they see some kind of political gain. Ron Foxcroft is chairman, founder, and CEO of Fox 40 International, but he's also the CEO and chairman of Fluke Transportation Group. He joins us now. Good to have you, Ron.
My pleasure. Always, Alex.
Thank you. So, a lot of those in the trucking industry have said that they were completely taken aback by this announcement of this sudden reversal, and then all of a sudden the reversal gets reversed. What do you make of all of what's going on?
I think it was a gong show. You said it well. It was a gong show, and now it puts us in peril. Alex, you must be getting tired of people like me complaining about the trucking industry being in peril. Prior to the pandemic, we had many problems prior to the pandemic. Before March 6, 2020, our industry was about 18,000 drivers short. We're an aging industry. We had problems and so on. And then the pandemic hit, and now the numbers are closer to, in Canada, about 23,000 truck drivers short in our industry. And that alone is a big problem. Now you throw in the pandemic, and now you throw in this gong show today, because I was talking all day about, we've bought ourselves a week because, the Canadian government made the announcement this morning, but the United States government didn't make the same announcement. So what we could do, we bought a week to get ourselves into the United States and back into Canada, because it still really wasn't solving the problem if United States doesn't adopt the same policy.
Yeah, and for our listeners, the United States on January 22nd, enact the same kind of vaccine mandate when they've got a shortage of drivers of about 80,000. I mean, I don't know what Joe Biden and Justin Trudeau think they're going to gain. Sure, people should get vaccinated. However, truck drivers are, they're a lone group. They travel alone. They spend very little time kind of hanging out with people. They're in their truck. They get goods to market. They don't hang out where they are. They go, they bring it back, and then they go again. And so one of the big challenges, that they face is, you'll have to quarantine. I mean, you can't quarantine a truck driver, or else they can't get back in their truck to deliver the goods. And so
no,
I have to think, Ron, that today probably caused a lot of angst and trouble, because your industry has already tried to prepare for this deadline on Saturday, and then probably we're making new arrangements to figure out, okay, well, how do we, we've got another week to go, we can make more changes, and then it's kind of thrown everything into disarray.
Yeah, a couple things. I want to give a lot of kudos to the CTA, the Canadian Trucking Association, Stephen Laskowski, because very, very professionally, he's been communicating our concerns within our industry. Also, on your show, Ian Lee communicated this very, very well. Like, let's face it, number one, the cupboards could become bare. That's one thing. The second thing, and this affects everybody, and I'm concerned about the little guy, the price of essential services. At Fluke Transport, If it's on time, it's a fluke. We truck essential services, things that go into grocery stores, big box stores, pharmacy stores, and the average person has to depend on that. The average person has to eat, and I can't believe what the prices are going to be. An economist told me the prices in the grocery store are going up this month by about 7%. Alex, Roy Green tells me you're really smart. And
well,
I don't
he's
think
generous.
you have to be very smart to figure out what the price of groceries are going to be December 31st, 2022.
Well, we've got inflation, and then we've got this, and, when a stick of butter or a pound of butter is costing $9 at a grocery store, it really does hurt those who are on budgets, who have, limited resources. Those are the people it will hurt most. But, the other thing is, we want safety, but at what cost? I mean, this is driving a lot of the most experienced drivers off the road who are saying to hell with it, and so that experience leaves the industry. There's been nothing done to recruit new drivers, and I mean, there's something that the government could have done proactively is start helping the industry, recruit people, put commercials out, whatever, but get the word out to get new people into the trucks. Nothing of that has been done. And so what do you expect? This will go through, I guess, and I guess they think it's a political win for them, but when would we start to see, and we are already seeing some of the shelves empty. I mean, the liquor store shelves have been empty on certain, things, but there will be shortages. When do we start getting really hit?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, our strategy starting tomorrow at Fluke, and I'm also a manufacturer. We ship every single day from Fox 40 to our plant in New York State. So this is really important because we make safety products, and it's very vital that our products get over to our New York State plant every single day. But to answer your question directly, I guess now we know the rules, unless they get changed again tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, our team, and I like to surround myself with people smarter than me, we're going to develop a new recruitment and retention service within Fluke Transport. We have to take it on. We cannot leave this to the responsibility of the government because, just because of the size of government, Alex, they can't move as fast like they do in 12 months what I do in 12 minutes. So we're going to meet tomorrow, and all our trucking companies are going to meet tomorrow, the CTA, and we have to innovate a new recruitment and retention program for the trucking industry across Canada because we are aging, we are losing drivers. It's a real big problem. Ian Lee said it best. Finally, we're going to have shelves empty. And forget the price. I mean, it's going to hurt the little guy. It's going to hurt every person in Canada as the prices go up and the shelves become empty. So we have to take on this responsibility, and kudos to the CTA because I know they're going to lead us and help us and give us some ideas. What are those ideas? I don't know because today was very confusing for us in the industry.
Yeah, it sends a signal that there is confusion and uncertainty, which never helps an economy, and it causes a lot of needless panic. And we saw what happened at the beginning of this pandemic, Ron, when everyone ran out to get toilet paper. This sends needless panic at a time when people's nerves are absolutely frayed. And the government keeps saying, well, we're working with the industry, we're working in the industry. Are they?
I'm not too sure about that, but I'm glad you brought that up because last April 2020, we trucked from Pennsylvania 25 loads a day of toilet paper. And you remember the panic.
Jeez.
Well,
oh, yes.
That's just one product. There's thousands of products in the big box stores and the grocery stores. And heaven forbid, if those shelves start to become empty, we are going to be in a real panic situation in this country. So I really believe, Alex, we in the private sector have to lead the resurgence of recruitment and retention of truck drivers. We are essential service. We are a skilled trade, and we have to do more to recruit and retain.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, in the beginning of this thing, for the 18 months, no one was concerned about drivers spreading or bringing COVID back because the need for food and essentials and living was that great that we would never dream of telling our truck drivers to stay home and lock down. So there was no concern then. There's no data to suggest that drivers are causing massive spread and threat to our safety. So I guess we're going to have to see a bit of a game of Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Do you get the sense that they're going to reverse course again? I don't think they're going to have a choice ultimately. And will that bring back some of the older generations? Will truck drivers come back if the government backs off of this?
I'm sorry to say, I think the rule is ultimately going to be put in place. I don't see that, Alec. You know what? Prove me wrong, and I want to be wrong, but I think ultimately the rule is going to be you go to the border and you're going to be double vaxxed, and you have to, fans that want to go to the Buffalo Bills on Saturday have to get a test for $200 in the United States to get back into Canada. Now, United States sent a man to the moon 51 years ago. Now they can't send a person from the Buffalo Bills game on Saturday back into Canada. Think about that.
That's all I do, Ron, unfortunately. It's just, we've got politicians making what I think are very foolish and short-sighted decisions for political points, but at the end of the day, it is the greater good that who will suffer. So I will keep my fingers crossed that some sanity will prevail, and we'll certainly keep in touch, but I wish you the very best of luck, and I thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Alex. It's always a pleasure.
That is Ron Foxcroft, who has been in this industry for a whole long time with his Fluke Transportation Group. And so, of course, we'll see what comes out of this. But are they that stupid? I mean, I know it's a rhetorical question, but really? I don't see how they think this is going to end well. But let us see what happens.